G'day and welcome to Australia. This is Adam from AVA Magnetic Levitation Australia doing another Mad Micro RC Mods video. Now this video is about doing a controller mod. People have asked, and I've wanted to do it for a long time, build a steering wheel pistol grip style controller that works with these Coke can car or cars in a can or pocket racers, and I've managed to do it. It was a little bit of work. I'll show a short version of this video. If there's enough in the comments and the shares on this one, I'll go to the trouble of building a second one and showing exactly how to do it in full detail, and I'll put it on the Patreon. So, by the way, the car I use in this video is this, I don't know, it looks like a Mustang in a way, I suppose. This is the car that is the Patreon prize car. There's a video for it where I modified it and put big wheels. This is a 1/64 scale car, and I took a wheel set off a 1/58 scale car, which is slightly larger, and refitted to this one. Made it a lot better. Handles great, better, a little bit faster. Basically, this is a prize car for Patreon. The first 25 subscribers on Patreon have a chance to win this car. I'm also going to extend that to also donations. If you donate to Patreon, it can be $1, it can be, I think that's the smallest amount you can, whatever you want, will get you a entry to winning this car. Before I go any further with this, I'll just quickly say I played with this car a little bit. It's been a lot of fun. I wanted to go faster, so I took the standard motor out and I put in a Micron Wings slightly larger motor. I think it's about 2 millimeters longer, has a lot more power and more RPMs. The car is actually a great deal faster now, and I drove it with this pistol grip controller, which probably won't come with the car if you win it, I'm afraid. I'm really attached to this now. It worked really well. It's lithium powered. It has an aerial, pretty much the same as a standard controller, but the reception on it, because of the way I've wired the aerial, is great. It's actually so much easier to drive one of these cars with this controller. So stick around, there'll be footage of me driving this car, and also there's a little bit of footage of this one thrown in as well, only because when I was doing the video I'd put a lithium battery in this one and I wanted to try it out as well. So please enjoy what you see. I'm down a bit on the shares, so please share this one if you like it. And please share, subscribe, spread, and have a look at Patreon. Link in the description. Donate there if you like the channel and you want to help it along. Or subscribe if you want to learn something. Anyway, I hope to see you next time. This is Adam. Please enjoy. Now, the first thing I need to do is strip this controller down. I've not stripped one down before, so I've got no idea what to expect. That out of the way. Okay. Now, so that's our steering function. It's just a paddle, switching paddle. And what do we got here? There we go. Oh, okay. Well, that sort of makes it a little easier. Maybe we'll strip it down more. They're the same button switches as what you have. Here we go. Here's a board from inside one of these standard controllers. That's the same button switches. So this could be the perfect controller to use for a conversion. Okay, I've stripped down the board and I've removed all the components that were on there, desoldered them and just ripped them all off. I've also taken the extra precaution of just putting a breaker in here. Really it doesn't or shouldn't matter that much, as long as the components are gone and there's no dead shorts anywhere. All I really have to do now is strip this one down and try and work out the connection between the two and somehow the board fit into here. So let's get on with that. that's our top section. Okay, this is the project halfway through. It was a little bit trickier than I thought, only because the controller itself is too big to fit back inside the casing. So what I've done is I've cut the controller in half and rejoined it with wires. A little bit tricky. I've made a different aerial attachment lead. I've soldered on a S1 LiPo plug. And these LEDs also had risers in them, so they set up really high, so I've desoldered and resoldered them as well, just to make it compact and so it fits. The other board's prepared. Now all I really have to do now is, what's it now twice, is solder the functions, the corresponding functions. Now because the negative wire or whatever is normally a common rail or a common system, on this board, if you look really close, I don't know, I'll show, the negative on that side is a common rail. So if I can find the right corresponding negative common on this board, I should be able to solder one negative and then one wire for each switch, which makes it a little easier. So that way you've only got 3 wires per switch instead of having 4 wires per switch. There's going to be a lot of wiring bundled back inside this controller when I'm finished. So, okay, so this is the final fit out taking place at the moment. There's the one half of the cocaine car board and the other half there, which we can fold over the top. The top board's in place and works. The aerial lead's in its position thereabouts, and I've made a insulator. The hot glue gun's come out, so this is it. I'm nearly done. It seems to all be working really well, so fingers crossed. So, after much effort and work and testing, I decided I won't clean up. I'll give you a rough idea of how much of a mess I make sometimes when I'm doing a project. And I had a result. Mind you, I didn't do a full video for this one, but I might do another one. And now that I know how to do it, I will do a Patreon one if there's enough interest. Because this wasn't that hard to do, once you know how, and it worked out really well. So far, the controller has been flawless, it works perfectly. And yeah, it makes it so much better to drive the cars. Unbelievably much more fun, especially when they got more power. It actually does make a massive difference having a steering wheel. So, before I go, I'll just quickly show you the insides. There's not a lot to see now. But yeah, the reason I didn't try and film the full job of me doing it is because it was first time round. Stuff like this can be quite tricky. It was actually a challenge. I destroyed one standard controller the first time round. Different controllers are easier to do because there's less electronics in that bridging piece you cut in half. This one had 3 wires or 3 connectors, so it was quick and easy. I'm using a 60 milliamp hour lithium ion battery. The aerial lead runs from the bottom right up to here and then up to the aerial, so at the moment the reception on this is incredible compared to standard. And that's basically it. The board's in there cut in half. The standard board's still up there with everything stripped off it but the buttons, and there's 3 wires running for each function set. So this is the left and right here. So if I wanted to, I could actually push these buttons and it would make the car steer. I'll give you a look at that if you want. Because they're still actually enabled, as you can see, still working. And all I've really done is jack those functions. And I've extended the wires from the board up to that board so that there's an extra on-off switch connected up here. Effectively, that's all I've done. So that was it. It worked out, like I said, really well. Better than expected. So I've also taken the time to get this car, which is this is the Patreon car. Anyone who subscribes to Patreon automatically goes into a draw when we hit either 25 people on Patreon or 25 entries, because we decided to extend it that if you donate to the Patreon channel, link in the description, you'll also be in the draw for this car. And when I was doing this video and actually testing this car, I also tested the Hot Wheels car, which has had a lithium battery mod. It's going to have another video made about it because the weight of the car with the not quite round rims, it's actually destroying the tyres and shaking itself apart. So there's going to be more mods on this one. So anyway, please enjoy footage of this car, now with a more powerful motor as well, and using this controller to control it. This is Adam out. Please enjoy. As you can probably tell from that takeoff, yes, the more power that I put into this car has definitely worked. Having the larger wheel diameter also means that the top speed is also much increased. Having the advantage of driving it with this pistol grip controller definitely makes it more drivable. Normally when you put more power into these cars, you have to almost go through a new learning curve with your button controller to sort of get used to it. And this is a stock car, identical car, but stock standard, stock wheels, stock motor. Just sort of to give you an idea of speed, but same controller, same frequency. I was very surprised how accurately you could drive this car with the pistol grip controller. This is by far one of the best 1/64 scales I've ever done. Having the big wheels from a 158 on the car gives it much better balance and stability on the corners, and the extra power you have, you can sort of push it a little bit if you need to. The pistol grip controller, I think, also just gives you that extra level of accuracy. Whoever does win this car in the end, it will not come with a pistol grip controller, I'm sorry, but it will come with a standard controller. And keeping in mind that this car, as fast as it is, can still be charged with a standard controller. It does not have a lithium battery in it. So yeah, I'll be building another one, probably the day I give that one away. Now this is a basic track that I built. I just used wood for the surrounds. I used, let's see, I think it's called painter's tape or something. It doesn't leave residue, or blue stuff. The paper is sort of like a heavy card type paper. It gives the cars a little bit too much traction at times, but it's a good platform for testing because you can go left and right obviously, and that way you can tell if the car's balanced properly, if you've got any problems with its handling. And yeah, you can also have some fun with some friends on a track as well, which is what I ended up doing with this. I did some jumps, chicanes. I thought I'd try them. They're a bit tricky. I've never really done them before, so I was a bit slow at the start. I found that yeah, if you get your entry right, you can get your exit right as well. But definitely, if you have a track, probably a good thing to have some if you've got the space for them. Just that extra little bit of challenge. But you've got to make them so that you cannot get over them. Like that. So yeah, tested the car on some jumps as well, which will be coming up next. Jumps, I found the cars do really, really well. This car loved the jumps. Yeah, the Hot Wheels car on the other hand didn't handle the jumps quite as well. I found stock cars with stock weight and that, you know, the track or the jump of the track's not really properly made. But the car loved it. It was a lot of fun. And, you know, I did try a few different things, but I didn't try too much, so I've got more on the way with that. But the Hot Wheels car being so much heavier with the body kit and the body only being glued on, it really, really isn't suited to this. And yeah, eventually I cracked the glue, so the body kit came off. But either way, it was a lot of fun mucking around and doing all this. I'd have to say the steering wheel controller mod, a little bit of messing around, but definitely worth the effort. And that being said, if you want to see a full video on how to do that, please share, subscribe, spread if there's enough interest. I'll do a full video on Patreon, how to make your own. And remember, if you want to win this car, just go to Patreon, subscribe or donate, and you enter the prize draw, 1 in 25 chance. Hope you've liked this video and enjoyed what you've seen. Took a little longer than expected, but the controller was worth the effort, I think. This is Adam out.